Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Wednesday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering the Infancy Gospel of Thomas, chapters 1 through 9. Is it chapters?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean these
this
look
time
like
it's
chapters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you reading from?
Well, you know what? We got a new book here today.
Oh wow!
Well, one that we haven't used. It's not that this book itself is new, but you know what I mean. Actually, let's see when this is from. I mean, there should be a date on this, right? Oh, okay. So it's from 94. All right. It's from 1994. It's from the year I was born.
Gospels.
Yeah, the complete Gospels. So here's what. So this is from Robert J. Miller. He's the editor, Robert J. Miller. And the new translations of. So obviously the four canonical Gospels, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospels of Thomas and Mary, the Sayings Gospel Q, which I mean still is a reconstruction, right? Mm-hmm. It's not that we actually have any Q manuscripts; it's just our best guess to common sources.
Yeah,
and that changes a lot here and there. The Secret Gospel of Mark, which has a whole other story on it. Before we even consider doing that. I think I am going to have to make a video about it.
Oh.
Yeah. Or maybe we should read it first and then do the video.
Yeah,
maybe.
Because there's this whole thing about it being like a modern day forgery. Yeah. So yeah, the Secret Gospel of Mark and 12 other Gospels from the first 3 centuries.
Incredible.
Yeah. It's quite phenomenal. So yeah, there's quite a few things in here. So a lot of this we already read, right? But then some of them we have not. And you know what? The Infancy Gospels are ones that we haven't read on this show. And the only time that the Infancy Gospels were read on this channel, it was actually from Richard Carrier.
Oh yeah.
So you remember after one of the MythCons?
Yes, we all. I was even there for that.
I think you were, yeah.
Yep.
So we were at a party and like just the after party, and he decided to do like a dramatic reading of the Infancy Gospel of Thomas, and he didn't read the whole thing. He just read a part of it, but it was pretty funny, and that's the only time the Infancy Gospels were actually read on the channel. It was only part of it, but now we're going to be using the actual text itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we will not be a complete joke.
No, we won't.
Only a partial joke.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is
the way I'm abbreviating it is I got one.
You got one?
Think about it. Infancy Gospel of Thomas.
Yeah.
Lowercase O.
Okay, sure. I got you. Yeah. I understand. I got yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if we're a joke or not with this being the WAP episode of I Got 1 and to 9.
Right, yeah. But either way.
Do you get that?
Yes, I get it.
All right.
Either way, yeah, so how about we start off with some of this. It doesn't have, like this text isn't, there's some commentary, but not a lot. It's very much like, these books when it comes to commentary.
Yes.
Like those little endnotes. So yeah, how about we start off with just a few notes to get us started. So I believe that this, let's see. No, I think that these all just come from like the same group of people, honestly, like the same translators, the same editors. So it's not like every section has a specific, well, there is a note about the translation. The present translation is based on a new critical Greek text prepared especially for the Scholars version. So that's good. So, of course, what we're talking about here is the years of Jesus that are just not talked about in the Gospels. So
like when he was a kid.
Yeah, when he was a kid and when he was, a young adult or something.
With magic powers still.
Especially with magic powers. Yeah, there are quite a few magic powers in these books. And the thing is they had to, kind of explain what Jesus was doing all that time. So legends started to develop about what he was doing in his childhood. So, the initial episodes portray a petulant Jesus at play, a sometimes hot-tempered lad ready to use his remarkable abilities in destructive or self-serving ways, and a prodigy at school, impatient with the limitations of his merely human teachers. That kind of reminds me of the way Ben Sira was in the alphabet of Ben Sira.
Oh yeah, he could walk.
He was
talk as soon as he was born, basically. Right?
Yeah, and he was a fucking dick to his adult teacher. He was 1 year old, and he was talking to this guy.
Yes, as a little baby.
Yeah, and he was very eloquent
him about scripture,
telling him how ugly his wife was.
Oh jeez,
that one's pretty solid. It's a very solid book. If you have not, go just watch our reading.
You of course get the story about his parentage, which is
crazy.
Yes, very crazy,
absolutely insane. Crazy stuff.
A common fear at the time was that would happen to you.
Totally, yeah. You'd sit on semen and get pregnant. Yeah, that was totally the.
That's how he got.
Also,
born.
the fear of going into what was it? How was it described? Because he went into this. It wasn't a brothel. It was a.
No, it's like a bath.
A bath, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it was a bathhouse. That's right, yeah. So he went into a bathhouse, and then all these dudes are like, hey, they're all jerking off, and they're like, hey, you should join us, and if you don't, we're going to fuck you in the ass?
Something like that.
It was good stuff.
It was something like that.
Yeah, so crazy stuff. But either way, the origins of this gospel, the infancy gospel of Thomas, survives in various forms in a number of languages, including Syriac, Greek, Latin, and Slavonic. The earliest extant is a Syriac manuscript dating to the 6th century. The variations among these versions make it difficult to reconstruct the earliest form of the work. The earliest clear attestation of an episode from the gospel is in the work of the church father Irenaeus, Bishop of Lyons, in the late 2nd century. In his treatise against heresies, written around 185 CE, he mentions, quote, spurious and apocryphal writings that include a tale which tells that when the Lord was a child learning the alphabet, the teacher, as is customary, said to him, say alpha. I guess it is. And then and he replied alpha. When the teacher next told him to say beta, the Lord answered, tell me first what alpha is, and then I shall tell you what beta is. This is obviously an allusion to the episode found in chapters 6 through 8 and 14 through 15. Patristic testimonies continue in the late 2nd, early 3rd century with Hippolytus and Origen, who mention the existence of a gospel of Thomas of uncertain contents. Some of these testimonies may refer not to a narrative of Jesus' childhood, but to the gospel of Thomas, the actual sayings gospel that we read before.
Yes.
The one that ends with, the women becoming spiritually men.
Yes.
That one, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, the evidence provided by Irenaeus indicates that a version of the infancy gospel of Thomas was in circulation in the 2nd century. Nothing certain, however, can be said about the place or circumstance of its composition. The Orthodox Christian writers of the late 2nd century associated this infancy gospel with circles that they considered heretical, particularly with groups of Gnostic Christians. Of course they did. There's, scattered evidence confirms that such Christians did know the work. This evidence takes the form of allusions to stories reminiscent of the infancy gospel of Thomas in certain Gnostic works, such as the Gospel of Truth.
Wonderful.
Let's see. Some scholars have argued that certain features of the work, especially its Christology, are heterodox. All versions of the work obviously consider Jesus to be endowed with, from his earliest years, with remarkable power, and some explicitly affirm that he is the incarnation of a divine being. These Christological beliefs were hardly confined to Gnostics. They were present from the earliest generations of the Christian movement. And then they list off a few different early Christological views. So we'll see what kind of version of Jesus we get in this one.
All right.
We got a title about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Might be a little bit of a spoiler.
A giveaway, yeah. But the thing is, that's definitely the character that's presented. He's going to be insane, but that's a different question as to the Christology one.
Yes, a different question indeed. Then let us begin reading the Infancy Gospel of Thomas.
Let us pray.
I got one.
Yes, boyhood deeds of our Lord Jesus Christ.
All right, let's see what he does.
Yes.
Actually, should I tell Eric that we're live right now?
You should tell Eric
everyone
while I introduce us. In the Synoptic Gospels, Thomas is regularly linked with Matthew. In John, Thomas is known as Didymus, the twin. This is presumably the same apostle as the Didymus Judas Thomas, who figures in the Gospel of Thomas, and the Judas Thomas, twin of Jesus, who is the hero of the Acts of Thomas. So, Infancy Gospel of Thomas 1. I, Thomas the Israelite, am reporting to you, all my non-Jewish brothers and sisters, to make known the extraordinary childhood deeds of our Lord Jesus Christ, what he did after his birth in my region. This is how it all started. Chapter 2.
Okay, pretty quick with that one.
Yeah.
Not much to say, just an introduction.
When this boy, Jesus, was 5 years old, he was playing at the ford of a rushing stream. He was collecting the flowing water into ponds, and he made the water instantly pure. He did this with a single command.
So instantly pure. Did he just clean it, or is it pure in like a ritual sense too?
Well, we would assume that it has a double meaning.
That would make sense, sure.
It is both clean and now ritually pure.
Good for Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
He's really knocking it out of the park in these early years already.
Yes.
Like already, he said, this guy sounds great.
So he makes this command about the waters in the ponds.
Did he remove all the minerals too? Because he might have actually,
maybe
made it kind of useless in some ways to like life.
Yeah, is it pure H2O?
Uh-huh.
Is it just?
That's a good question, yeah.
Also, water takes a lot of forms. So purity, the most pure form is like water, what? You have to like look this stuff up because I know there's Ice 19.
Purified water from Kirkland Signature.
Okay, well, you just gave away that Costco exists anyways because that's their brand.
Nobody knows about Costco.
Not sponsored.
Completely unknown brand.
Purified water with minerals added for taste.
See,
not sponsored.
Minerals, they don't have them. It's gonna just, anyways.
I've seen minerals in my time. Anyways, he makes this command that the waters are purified. He then made soft clay and shaped it into 12 sparrows. He did this on the Sabbath day, and many other boys were playing with him.
Ooh, okay. So the 12 sparrows, that could have a lot of meanings. Could be like apostles, or a reference to the apostles, or it could be tribes of Israel.
The soft clay is obviously reminiscent of the Adam story.
Sure, true. Also, at the same time, what about the
In fact, it's quite reminiscent of the Adam story because Yahweh spits and uses his spittle to make the mud to shape Adam. Here, little baby Jesus is purifying water and using that to shape the clay.
Sure, yeah. So the water is purified and it's clay, and he's making 12 birds out of it.
Mm-hmm. He did this on the Sabbath day.
Oh, and on the Sabbath day.
Yes.
Oh, that has another connotation to it.
But when a Jew saw what Jesus was doing while playing on the Sabbath day, he immediately went off and told Joseph, Jesus' father.
So is he mad that he's creating something?
Well, I mean,
because surely
it's interesting that he refers to Joseph as Jesus' father.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it would be his father either way. I thought
his dad
sense.
was supposed to be God.
Yeah, it was. But if this is just some dude on the street, he's gonna go to his guardian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Joseph is like his stepdad.
I mean, I guess how is she
Sure,
going to
yeah.
treat it? And they're
the
going to
thing is,
have a
okay.
weird relationship, right?
Oh, okay, so when it comes to the Sabbath stuff, so I know that you can't work on it, right? So
Yeah.
when it comes to making stuff, like I guess like if this is a child
It's
play,
doing work.
sure, I guess, but like
It's
I know
the
you can't.
kind of work that Yahweh would have rested from.
So like you can't make a. Can you make a snowman on the Sabbath? No, you can't make a snowman.
I don't think so.
Like I know you can't
It's too much work.
You can't make a snow.
No,
Okay, all right.
you
You can't make a snowman. On
snowman.
All right.
What
All right.
can you do on the Sabbath?
I don't know.
Tomer knows better.
Probably
than we
can't even
do.
jerk off on the Sabbath. God damn, the
You
Sabbath
can
sucks.
never jerk off. It's
Especially
religion.
on the Sabbath.
The whole time.
You can read.
The whole time.
Yeah,
you
but
can't
you
do
can
it.
only read Torah, right? Like, are you
You
allowed
can't.
to read for pleasure?
No, because that's bad for you. That's
Well,
a sin.
You can't even read for that long because you have to read by like the sunlight. You can't light a fire.
right.
or
That's right,
Turn
yeah.
on lights. So
Some nights the
Well, the
moon
thing
is
is-
out.
You can set something up for the next day to set up a light,
Mhm,
right? To like set up the because I know that they do that in cooking a lot,
mhm.
where they set up like a timer that'll start the actual cooking process
Yes.
the next day. Yeah.
But obviously, you can't shape things into sparrows, right?
Oh, that's one of the things that you're not allowed to do.
Yeah. See here, your boy is at the ford and has taken mud and fashioned 12 birds with it, and so has violated the Sabbath. So Joseph went there, and as soon as he spotted him, he shouted, "Why are you doing what's not permitted on the Sabbath?" But Jesus clapped his hands and shouted to the sparrows, "Be off, fly away, and remember me, you who are now alive." And the sparrows took off and flew away noisily. The Jews watched this with amazement, then left the scene to report to their leaders what they had seen Jesus doing.
Well, luckily he's not a menace yet.
No, he's not a menace. This is attested to in the Quran.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It says, Jesus will say, "I bring you a sign from your Lord. From clay I will make for you a likeness of a bird. I shall breathe into it, and by God's leave it shall become a living bird." This is in Q349. Hey,
Well-
you know what?
Oh yeah, you're just gonna whip out the Quran. Okay, I can look for it.
Yeah.
What was the verse you said?
Q349.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Also in 5:113. So pick either one, and maybe there's some commentary on that.
Right.
This
Right.
is from
49.
Abdullah Yusuf Ali's translation.
All right. Let's see. 349. This is it, right? I'm pretty sure. Got 349
I
up here.
think so.
Yeah, okay. So, and appoint him an apostle to the children of Israel with this message: I have come to you with a sign from your Lord. In that I make for you out of clay, as it were, the figure of a bird, and breathe into it, and it becomes a bird. Yeah, all right. There's something there. And it looks like there is... Well, no, there's really not that much commentary on this, but it does say that the miracle of the clay birds is found. Oh yeah, so mentions the Apocryphal Gospels. Then it says here the original gospel was not the various stories written afterwards by disciples, but the real message taught by direct by Jesus. That's classic. All right.
Okay, some apologetics thrown in there
already.
with your commentary.
Yeah.
That book
Wonderful.
is absurdly fat.
It is, yeah, but it is quite because it has the Arabic too.
Mhm.
So,
It's
which would
gotta
be more
have
useful if we knew Arabic.
Right, yeah, gotta have some utility to reading that fat, though.
Right, yeah.
So this is familiar to the canonical Gospels. Jesus does break the Sabbath in order to heal someone.
Right, yeah.
Here he's granting life to something.
True, yeah.
hmm But it's interesting because he's confronted with it and he doesn't really respond to it. He just carries on with doing what he was doing.
Right,
and then
yeah.
people are just distracted and don't hold him accountable for
So,
it.
because
right?
in the Bible, the way that that he gets around it, right, is instead of saying that like he did something, it just says that something happened. So he turns it. So the author turns it into a passive voice.
Yes. Otherwise, people would have to assert that he was able to create life.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Chapter 3. The son of Annas the scholar, standing there with Jesus, took a willow branch and drained the water Jesus had collected. Wow. Lawrence.
Yeah.
This Annas is going to drain the water from Jesus's willow branch.
Wow, you are pulling stuff out of there that I didn't even think would be pulled out, which is another one that you can take, pulling out.
Wow,
yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But Annas the scribe, in a more serious note, also appears in the Infancy Gospel of James 15. In the canonical Gospels, Annas is a high priest. See Luke 3:2, John 18:13, 24, and Acts 4:6.
Sure.
So heavily attested to in the Gospels. Jesus, however, saw what had happened and became angry, saying to him, "Damn you, you irreverent fool! What harm did the ponds of water do to you? From this moment, you too will dry up like a tree, and you'll never produce leaves or root or bear fruit." Wow. That is pretty awful.
Didn't he do that to like a palm tree in the biblical text at one point?
Yeah,
Well, there was the thing about the
There was a tree that didn't bloom when he said it should.
Well, no, because he was like, well, it shouldn't bloom like out of season, right? And that was the oh my God, was that an olive tree?
I think
it's a date.
It was a
fig tree. It was a fig tree.
Yeah,
That's right. It was a
fig
fig tree.
tree.
Why am I thinking olive tree? Yeah, it was a fig tree. So yeah, that was like the whole thing. Well, it shouldn't really do this out of its prescribed time, and that kind of called back to the whole prescribed times of Ecclesiastes.
But the idea here is that the ponds were purified. They were used to create these sparrows. And this scribe, who is identified in other Gospels as a high priest, interrupts the purified ponds and drains out all the water.
How awful of him. What a fucking dick.
Is the implication supposed to be some sort of anti-Judaic message, right? Because the idea is there's this Annas guy who's supposed to be a high priest. The high priest is like an extremely important position within Judaism. Here, they kind of denigrate him by calling him a scribe. If he's a high priest, right, then it would be denigrating to refer to him as a scribe in your gospel. So, as a consequence, maybe it's supposed to be an anti-Judaic thing. It says, from this moment, you too will dry up like a tree, and you'll never produce leaves or root or bear fruit.
Right, yeah.
Is it supposed to be a statement about the Jews? Because here it talks about the Jews explicitly, right?
Yeah. And the Sabbath rules.
Is he supposed to be like a metaphorical stand-in for that? Or is that not what it's?
I'm not entirely sure. It might be.
Okay. In an instant, the boy had completely withered away.
Yeah, he did.
Oops. Then Jesus departed and left for the house of Joseph. Okay, so the way that they present it, because if it's literal, it doesn't really make sense, because they present him as a scribe. And if he's a scribe, that implies he's had training as a scribe, which would mean that he's probably not like a little boy, but he comes to him as a boy and then withers away as a boy, right? It doesn't say like the adult male.
Sure.
I assume that there's a word that they use for it that's
There's no note or anything on that one, though. But yeah, because he would be an adult in order to have that position.
The withering
And
of the child may recall the episode of the withered fig tree.
Well, yeah, we get that.
That's we've all pointed that
Like,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, already we got a kill under his belt.
Mm.
One.
Well, there's one, yeah.
Yeah. The parents of the
Jesus
boy.
kill count.
Oh, it gets even more brutal.
Oh yeah, no, it gets crazy.
Yeah. The parents of the boy who had withered away picked him up and were carrying him out, sad because he was so young. And they came to Joseph and accused him. It's your fault. Your boy did all this.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter
Yes.
4.
Yes, let's see Joseph's answer.
I got 4.
While I read this, pull up in the Bible, 2 Kings 2:23 through 35. So, later he was going through the village again when a boy ran by and bumped him on the shoulder. Jesus got angry and said to him,
Wait, so sorry. The narrative with the parents just ended there at that one. They just went and said, "Oh, it's your fault."
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But that might be relevant to this. So this boy bumps into him on the shoulder.
Sorry, that section in 2 Kings. That's the 2 bears.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, the 2 she-bears came out of the woods and killed the 42 boys, yeah.
Yeah, the punishment meted
That was
out
nuts.
on the children might be remotely inspired by the punishment of malicious children who abused a prophet.
Yeah, they called him bald.
But he was
they
bald.
made fun of him for being bald,
Yeah.
I should say, yeah.
Anyways, Jesus got angry and said to him, this boy who bumped him on the shoulder while walking, "You won't continue on your journey."
Wow.
Oh, he's just going to end him. Oh, no.
And all of a sudden, he fell down and died.
I knew it.
It was that quick.
Ended. Oh, wow.
It was
Called it, though.
that quick. Just you bumped into me and you die. So
That's 2.
yep. Jesus is crazy.
Some people saw what happened and said, "Where's this boy come from? Everything he says happens instantly."
Well, that just happens. He's like obviously like because I
Killing
guess
children.
Well, right, but the thing is, it's not presented that way because he's not like I will kill you. He's like you will not continue your journey. So it has that same kind of effect as like, getting
but
around
he's
the Sabbath
still
rule.
killing. He's killed multiple children.
Yes,
so
he
far.
has.
Yes, but through mystical means, and so nobody can, like, stop him or, like, accuse him,
Right? Yeah.
which is horrible.
Okay, so Jesus is a child murderer.
Yes, as a child.
As a child.
As a child. Baby Jesus is a child murderer.
Correct.
That is.
According to this gospel, let's clarify that.
Yep. The parents of the dead boy came to Joseph and blamed him, saying, "Because you have such a boy, you can't live with us in the village, or else teach him to bless and not to curse. He's killing our children."
Well, they recognize it. Good. Very good.
Yes. So I'm going to hand it off to you for chapter 5.
All
Is
right.
there anything? You don't have to read that out loud. It was just.
It was
their
literally
thing.
just the section with
okay.
yeah. So on to chapter 5.
Yes.
Great. So Joseph has got a deal with Jesus here.
Mhm.
He's got to discipline him. So Joseph summoned his child and admonished him in private, saying, "Why are you doing all this? These people are suffering, and so they hate and harass us." Jesus said, "I know that the words I spoke are not my words. Still, I'll keep quiet for your sake." Yeah, that's a weird phrasing. Still, I'll keep quiet for your sake, but those people must take their punishment. There and then his accusers became blind.
Mhm.
So this is
It's kind of like undoing the blessings that he gives to people later in his life, according to the canonical gospels.
Yeah, a little bit. It's
Sure.
Like
Right.
it's like a reverse of all of his abilities.
Yeah, he like blinds people. He
Yeah,
kills
true.
people.
true. Yeah, instead of giving him
something's
life. And,
happening here. Did you?
oh, you
settings
can skip
change?
that. Yeah. I don't know why that changed because I didn't change anything.
All right. Double check settings later. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably some like automatic thing that gets checked off.
Yeah, some automatic ad thing. Yeah. So let's see. we got yeah, but it's just weird where it says here in verse 2, Jesus said, I know that the words I spoke are not my words. Still, I'll keep quiet for your sake. So what words are they referring to here? Is it supposed to be your words? Because
Well, like when he's speaking about the other child who's dying, right? He's saying you won't continue on your journey. Like
so he's saying that was God. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So those weren't his words. Okay.
But he's like, I guess I just won't say it for your sake.
Right, yeah. So the things will happen anyways, but he won't say them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just won't warn you about it.
Yeah, right. He's just gonna start killing people. So that's why everyone just became blind. He didn't have to say anything. They just became blind. Those who saw this became very fearful and at a loss. Yeah, because that's right. Because he didn't announce that he was gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
All they could say was, every word he says, whether good or bad, has become a deed, a miracle, even.
Miracle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to define miracle in such a way where it includes you becoming blind, yeah, go ahead.
If it includes
Suddenly.
like any vaguely magic thing, I guess.
Wow. That's vaguely magic. What a miracle.
This
It is
isn't
vaguely
found
magic.
in the Syriac.
But apparently this is found in a
Apparently.
different part, right? Because where it says, actually, I think you noted it before. Yeah, whence was this boy born that all his words are a deed.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe some of those moved there.
Maybe something was moved or maybe something was not present because this is
Right, yeah.
a different thing that they're translating, right?
Well, this is from like the Greek, right? Sorry, it's it's based off of a new critical Greek text.
Yeah, new critical Greek text.
Yeah. Well, at the time it was new, in '94.
Which is relatively new.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. I'm still young then.
Historically speaking,
Yeah, historically speaking,
it's very young.
The Bible's relatively new. Historically speaking.
Yeah.
Cosmologically
Well, not even
speaking,
then.
it's incredibly young.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. True. Just perspective. All
Yep.
matter of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
When Joseph saw that Jesus had done such a thing, he got angry and grabbed his ear and pulled very hard. The boy
Like a cartoon.
You like a cartoon. The boy became infuriated with him and replied, "It's one thing for you to seek and not find." Ooh, seek and not find. That's the opposite of what he said before.
Hide and
Seek
seek?
and you shall find.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite another for you to act this unwisely. Don't you know that I don't really belong to you? Don't make me upset.
Wow. So it's like the little demon child. Like,
That's
you're
so
not my real dad.
Yeah, it's like,
Really?
you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah.
I love
Who
this.
would like anyone when anyone is angry?
But he really, like, you're not my real dad.
Seriously.
And- yep.
The response by Jesus to Joseph's rebuke is obscure. It does say a little bit more about how, but it's stuff that I already noted about the command to, seek and you will receive and all that stuff. Yeah, that was already noted by us.
In a lot of ways, they're trying to, like, invert the Jesus story in the canonical Gospels.
Yeah, they are definitely.
Perhaps it's a parody.
It could be, or this could fall into the. I'm not sure about the. Okay,
Perhaps it's polemical.
do you remember? Okay, so God destroyed the world with a flood, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how's the next way that he's going to destroy the world?
Fire. Purification.
Right, because he's like, oh, I promise I'll never do that again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only about the flood. It's like it's kind of like one of those clauses that you need to look at the fine print for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, it's definitely subverting like all the stuff that was noted before. Like, if you could give that stuff, you could also take it away.
Mm-hmm.
So, either way, or maybe like in adulthood, like because he's giving that stuff out,
Yeah.
it's okay in their mind. I don't know. Chapter 6. A teacher by the name of Zacchaeus was listening to everything Jesus was saying to Joseph and was astonished, saying to himself, he is just a child in saying this. And so he summoned Joseph and said to him, "You have a bright child, and he has a good mind. Hand him over to me so that he can learn his letters. I'll teach him everything he needs to know so as not to be unruly." So this one's kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
It's like I like how this dude is just like, wow, this kid who just threatened everyone has a really good mind.
Yeah, well, he's like so young.
Right, yeah, he's like, okay.
He's like, okay, I'll teach him how to read and how to
Not be a dick.
not kill people, I guess.
Right, yeah. Joseph replied, "No one is able to rule this child except God alone. Don't consider him to be a small cross, brother.
A small cross?
A small cross, because like if you have so like a cross would be like, at this point in time, a great symbol for being burdensome, right?
Mhm.
With Jesus having to carry it up and all that.
Why is that?
What?
Why would the cross be a symbol at this point in time?
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about the time that it's written, not the not the time of the story, you bozo.
Okay, so you're not referring to why this character in here would be saying,
right? Well, why the author would put this in the character's mouth is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So yeah, he's not like, oh, don't like if this is a small cross, it just sounds like yeah, it's like a little bit of a burden. Like he's no small cross, he's no small burden. He's a big burden.
Well, yes, but
also,
in the context of the story, it doesn't really make sense because...
Right, yeah. Well, the thing is, even then, it might a little bit because they still crucified people at that time.
Yeah, but is the implication that the smaller cross would be that
Easier?
You wouldn't be as crucified?
Right,
Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You would still be just as crucified.
While Jesus
You would be,
is still
yeah.
here. He's just a kid. Why is the cross that significant?
No, they're
Or it could be like a crucifixion of a little baby.
Child. Yeah, that's true.
Like-
You're right.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that
True.
makes it even worse.
That's
This
crazy.
is not what we were considering originally, but my bad for throwing that out there because it could be.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Let's see what else is in here that we may have went over. Yeah, so saying that only God can rule over him. It's kind of, telling you straight up basically. Like this is him giving up his kind of parenting rights to God essentially.
Mhm.
When Jesus heard Joseph saying this, he laughed and said to Zacchaeus, "Believe me, teacher, what my father told you is true. I am the Lord of all these people, and I'm present with you and have been born among you and am with you."
So what would you do if
I-
a child said this to you?
This is so funny. That'd be so funny. I know where you've come from and how many years you'll live.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to you, teacher, I existed when you were born. If you wish to be a perfect teacher, listen to me, and I'll teach you a wisdom that no one else knows except for me and the one who sent me to you. So obviously referring to him and the Father, him and God. But yeah, this also is a kind of
Holy Spirit.
right, of course. This is also kind of a precursor to that motif that we find in the Alphabet of Ben Sira. Like, no, let me teach you.
Right.
And he's like, okay, child.
Mm-hmm.
It's you who happen to be my student, and I know how old you are and how long you have to live. When you see the cross that my father mentioned, there you go, then you'll believe that everything I've told you is true. So that's why.
Yeah, all right.
okay.
Future sight.
Yeah, very clearly knowing that he's going to be crucified later.
So the idea is he's telling this teacher, who is presumably smart, that
No, apparently he's an idiot too because he doesn't know about the reality of things.
he's a dummy
Yeah.
because he doesn't know that Jesus is so much better than
Right, yeah.
everyone else.
Let's see what else they want to say here. So the Jews who were standing by and heard Jesus, man, there are a lot of people standing by here. So
I'm
'cause
standing
remember-
by, guys.
Look, there's always
admonishment.
people standing by. What else are you gonna do in ancient Judea?
Stand by.
So this is
Really?
so the thing is this happened think about how quickly this is happening. So in chapter 5, there's him admonishing Jesus in private.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone going blind. And then, like, yeah, it says that everyone was afraid and everything. The thing is, there might be a little bit of time between them, right? Because it says when Joseph saw that Jesus had done such a thing, he got angry. So this is like they're back out in public, I guess. But yeah, it did kind of seem like they were still supposed to be in private. But yeah, everyone's around and they're all paying attention to this now for some reason. Everyone has just went blind.
Of course.
But everyone is somehow paying attention to Jesus.
Blindly.
Or his accusers, at least. His accusers. Blindly, yes. So,
Metaphor.
heard Jesus marveled and said, how strange and paradoxical. This child is barely 5 years old, and yet he says such things. In fact, we've never heard anyone say the kind of thing this child does. About him, like, knowing how everyone's going to die and everything, yeah. I would assume that was pretty rare.
Yeah, it would probably
People to
be
claim that.
atypical for a child to say, like, hey, Lawrence, you're about to die, and then you die.
Right, and I just wither up. Yeah, it'd be pretty wild, wouldn't
Well,
it?
especially if you're withered up. If you drop dead, maybe it's you. I know, you could just drop dead at any point.
If you just
But-
like wither like a
Yeah,
raisin.
exactly. If somehow even we saw your mummified remains, we'd be like, what the heck
That was
happened to Lawrence?
crazy.
Put him in a dehydrator and then like a compactor or something?
Yeah,
'Cause
real
he's
bad.
withered away here.
But either way, Jesus said to them in reply, are you really so amazed? Rather, consider what I've said to you. The truth is that I also know when you were born and your parents, and I announced this paradox to you. When the world was created, I existed along with the one who sent me to you. So there from the very beginning, personally sent by the Creator.
Preeminent Christ.
Yep. And obviously, this Jesus is way more egotistical than even like John's Jesus.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
super egotistical.
Like this one's like, you guys are all like fucking stupid. I was there at the beginning.
It's just Ben
and-
Zero level almost.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like gloats.
Yeah, like I'm only 5 years old and you guys know nothing. I'm your teacher. You're shit. Yeah, pretty good stuff.
He tells Joseph, "You're not my real dad."
Right, yeah, you wouldn't
And
like
then-
me when I'm angry.
And then the teacher's like, "Oh, let me teach you something." And
He's like, no, I'm
like,
your teacher.
I'm your teacher.
yeah. Let's see. So the Jews, once they heard the child was speaking like this, became angry, but were unable to say anything in reply. But the child skipped forward and said to them, I've made fun of you because I know that your tiny minds marvel at trifles. I love how he calls their minds tiny. No, this is not the Bible. This is
Did
the
that.
Infancy Gospel of Thomas. This is a pseudepigraphal work, and it's amazing.
I got
Yeah,
1
we
through
finished
9.
the Bible already.
We did finish the Bible.
The Bible was,
Long.
It was long. There were parts of it that were better than others. It was a mixed bag. Yeah.
I think I rated it like
I don't even remember.
6.
I don't even remember what I rated it. Either way, when therefore they thought that they were being comforted by the child's exhortation, the teacher said to Joseph, bring him to the classroom and I'll teach him the alphabet. So, all right. So that's quite fun.
Yeah, he wants to teach the kid how to read.
Right. Yeah. Maybe then he'll stop being such a dick, right? Yeah.
He knows how to read.
Maybe.
Joseph took him by the hand and led him to the classroom. The teacher wrote the alphabet for him and began the instruction by repeating the letter alpha many times. But the child clammed up and did not answer him for a long time. No wonder then No wonder then that the teacher got angry and struck him on the head.
Mm-hmm.
So he hit him on the head because he wasn't answering, and
corporal punishment is
of course.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Jesus in this text has also been insane.
Yeah, he killed 2 guys.
Yeah, he killed 2 children, but blinded a whole bunch of other people.
Yes,
Oh, nice.
he did.
Yeah.
He's actually a public menace.
Yeah. The child took the blow calmly and replied to him, "I'm teaching you rather than being taught by you." Man, this guy is what a dick. What a dick. I already know the letters you're teaching me, and your condemnation is great. To you, these letters are like a bronze pitcher or a clashing cymbal, which can't produce glory or wisdom because it's all just noise. So that's, he said, that's to you. Yeah. So they are, these letters are nothing to you and they can't produce wisdom. Mm. Then he goes on to say, nor does anyone understand the extent of my wisdom. When he got over being angry, he recited the letters from Alpha to Omega very quickly. So interesting part about this is he's kind of saying here, like, at least in relation to his wisdom,
yes,
these symbols, these letters they carry no meaning. You can't get meaning from them. But he already knows them.
He knows them, but they're useless to him.
Right, which is, I guess, why he's not engaging in this, what's the word I'm looking for? In this sham of a classroom.
Of writing.
Yeah, right. That's a very good teaching method. We should try that with all of our students. Then he looked at the teacher and told him, "Since you don't know the real nature of the letter alpha, how are you going to teach the letter beta? You imposter! If you know, teach me the first letter alpha, and then I'll trust you with the letter beta." You know, I feel like he was just trying to get you to say the thing, and then you didn't say the thing. So how is he really supposed to evaluate that this man doesn't know what these letters mean?
Well, you see, he's been given a chance to teach him, and he's trying to.
Yeah, he's trying to.
And that's it, really.
That's the whole thing. So either way, he began to quiz the teacher about the first letter, but he was unable to say anything. Okay, yeah, this is exactly the thing we find later. I really wonder when this started. I know that it's been a tradition for a long time to always like have students ask a lot of questions, which is good. But I'm really wondering like where this kind of exaggerated form of it started. Because I don't remember.
I don't know.
Was there something like this in the Bible?
Not really. No, I don't think so.
This subversion of the teacher-student like dynamic?
No, there's usually like a reverence for the elders.
Right, yeah. So it is quite interesting. Continuing on, though. Then, while many were listening, they're still listening. This is in the classroom now. And people are still listening.
They're not going anywhere.
I guess, yeah. He said to Zacchaeus, "Listen, teacher, and observe the arrangement of the first letter. How it has 2 straight lines or strokes proceeding to a point in the middle, gathered together, elevated, dancing, 3-cornered, 2-cornered, not antagonistic, of the same family, providing the alpha has lines of equal measure." Did you follow that?
Yeah, it's an A, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Good job.
Okay.
This is how you make an A. Don't you see? This is what an A looks like. It looks like this.
Yeah, 2-cornered,
this,
3-cornered.
Lawrence?
Amazing.
You do that. That's an A.
I can't.
Wow.
Really?
Unless you can explain beta to me.
Uh,
Wow, amazing. Incredible. You're so good at letters.
Yep.
Either way, that is the end of 6, so we can move on to 7 here.
Yeah.
After Zacchaeus the teacher had heard the child expressing such intricate allegories regarding the first letter.
Allegories.
Right, allegories? Why would... No. intricate allegories regarding the first letter, he despaired of defending his teaching. Yeah, he was embarrassed. He's off running. He spoke to those who were present. Poor me. I'm utterly bewildered. A wretch that I am. I've heaped shame on myself because I took on this child. So take him away, I beg you, Brother Joseph. I can't endure the severity of his look or his lucid speech.
He's just too smart for the teachers.
Right, yeah.
Big problem.
This child is no ordinary mortal. He can even tame fire.
When?
Well, okay.
I don't remember him taming fire.
No, I don't either.
Do we get another story of him taming fire here?
Maybe we do.
This is he does. Never mind. I don't
It
know.
was the withering up done by fire?
No,
maybe?
no.
Nope.
No, that's how he walks on water with fire. I don't know.
Perhaps he was born before the creation of the world, like he's been saying. But hold on, let me check on this thing about fire. The remark that Jesus can even subdue fire may allude to a lost episode. No shit, really? Zacchaeus unwittingly makes a Christological confession when he speculates that Jesus may have been begotten before the creation of the world. Well, yeah, that's kind of the whole character. That's the whole point of this.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of womb bore him? What sort of mother nourished him? I don't know. Poor me, friend. I've lost my mind.
Woe is me.
Right. I've deceived myself. I, who am wholly wretched. I strove to get a student, and I've been found to have a teacher. Friends, I think of the shame because although I'm an old man, I've been defeated by a mere child.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is good stuff.
Does he just go on about
How badly he got pummeled by Jesus in this battle of wits? Yeah.
Are you on to the next chapter?
No, this is still going.
Still him
Yeah.
wallowing.
Yeah, basically about how much he's getting pwned.
Woe is you.
Right, yeah. I've been defeated by a mere child, and so I can only despair and die on account of this child. Right now, I can't look him in the face. Okay. We'll see where this goes.
Okay.
When everybody says that I've been defeated by a small child, what can I say? And what can I report about the lines of the first letter which he told me about? I just don't know, friends, for I don't know its beginning or its end. Therefore, I ask you, Brother Joseph, take him back to your house. What great thing he is, God or angel or whatever else I might call him, I don't know. So he's acknowledged that he is greater
some kind
than him.
of superhuman.
Yeah. And yeah, after a whole bunch of woe is me, can't believe I lost to a kid, almost saying, he'd rather die. Yeah, you can only despair and die on account of the child.
That's all he can do.
Right. So let's see if he dies, shall we?
Well, let me
Those
take
last
over
two
for the
chapters.
last couple.
Chapter 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me tell you about
Chapter 8.
chapter 8. Now, while the Jews were advising Zacchaeus, the child laughed loudly and said, "Now let the infertile bear fruit, and the blind see, and the deaf in the understanding of their heart hear."
So he
Again, an
cackled
inversion
maniacally.
Yeah.
First,
yeah.
he was evil about it.
He cackles maniacally, and yeah. "I've come here from above so that I might save those who are below and summon them to higher things, just as one who sent me to you commanded me." When the child stopped speaking, all those who had fallen under the curse were instantly saved. And from then on, no one dared to anger him for fear of being cursed and maimed for life.
Well, sure, that would make sense.
So he cured everyone who he had previously blinded.
But what about those dead
Two kids.
folk?
I guess this Zacchaeus episode is just inserted in the middle.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll see how crazy this continues. How crazy this is as we continue.
Yep. Chapter 9.
Well, that was quick.
It was quick, yeah.
Yep. A few days later, Jesus was playing on the roof of a house. One of the children playing with him fell off the roof and died.
Yeah, this all right. Let's see where this goes.
Sure, they fell off.
Fell
the
off,
roof
right,
and
fell off.
died. No action on Jesus.
No, definitely no pushing off the roof or anything.
No.
Not from this Jesus. No way.
Oh, no.
So about the previous chapter, the combination of cursing and saving is awkward. As the text stands, it suggests that Jesus would ascend into heaven where he could curse his enemies, but then call them upward. When he ceases speaking, those who have been afflicted by his words are healed, yet the crowds remain fearful that they might be cursed. The sequence may reflect the fact that people who transmitted the story were uncomfortable with the notion that Jesus would curse and maim.
Well, we got a whole lot of that.
Yeah, and it sounds like this was added, actually. I don't know if that's possible.
Well, I mean, the part about
edited.
the part about the
Uncursing.
the teacher, the priest may have been. I can totally see that.
Whoa to him.
But yeah, let's see where this where it goes with this child on the roof thing.
Yeah, fell off the roof and died.
Sure.
When the other children saw what happened, they fled, leaving Jesus standing all by himself. The parents of the dead child came and accused Jesus. You troublemaker, you. You're the one who threw him down. That's your reaction
yeah.
to your child dying. Yeah.
Essentially.
You troublemaker,
Troublemaker,
you.
yeah. Oh.
No, it's you troublemaker, you.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
But either way, they're accusing him of doing it.
Yeah.
But let's see
because
if
he's been responsible for so many other children dying.
True, he has been.
Of course, they would accuse him.
Do you think him teaching this other dude about letters was enough to fix that?
No.
No, me neither.
No. Jesus responded, I didn't throw him down. He threw himself down. He wasn't being careful and leaped down from the roof and died. Then Jesus himself leaped down from the roof and stood by the body of the child and shouted in a loud voice, Zeno, that was his name, get up and tell me, did I push you? He got up immediately and said, no, Lord, you didn't push me. You raised me up. Those who saw this were astonished, and the child's parents praised God for the miracle that had happened and worshiped Jesus.
Wow, okay.
Story time.
I that was so fast. It was like
Wow.
the child gets up, calls him Lord, and
It's over.
Yeah, and then it's like, wow, this kid is God. Let's all worship him.
Yeah.
True story, bro.
So it's pretty straightforward so far. It's inverting a lot of the Jesus story mechanics.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, inverted Jesus mechanics.
It'll be interesting to see where this goes. I mean, they can't really imply that there's any character growth for Jesus at any point. Right? He's just like a petulant child.
Right, yeah, and he's just doing a whole bunch of magic tricks. And also
that involve killing
That
people.
involve killing people, yeah, very dangerous ones.
He's almost like an isekai character. You know, Ruben, like the more modern ones where they come into a new world and they're just absolutely bonkers OP or they're automatically a god or something. Yeah, he's like that because he's reckless and irresponsible.
The isekai anime trend needs to end.
It sure does. It's getting hypertroped. It's like too much. They're all the same to me now. They're blurring together.
You can't be reborn as a vending machine, then reborn as a sword, then reborn as like a furry, and then reborn as a My Little Pony fan, and like you can't.
Wait, whatever this is, I don't know if I need to know more about it.
It's the trend of is either forced to go to another world from this world usually. That's the isekai trend. It's an anime trend.
Okay.
You've never heard of it?
No.
Richard, our friend, loves it. Richard's a generic name, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Apparently, ads are gonna run shortly for some
Jesus.
viewers.
Yeah.
Nah, we're gonna end the show in that time. Ready, guys?
Yep. Go check out all the stuff.
We got Discord. We got the Facebooks. We got the Twitters. We got the TikTok now, I guess.
You guys know all the stuff. Check out the description.
Yeah, seriously, do that wish list and all that. But either Patreon too. And I guess. Oh yeah, Teespring.
Yeah, there
that's
there
right.
are T-shirts such as this one.
Yeah,
right
the amazing
here.
Daddy Milkers one. Get yourself one of those. That's a pretty dope
Get
one.
yourself the Daddy Milkers shirt. Wear it around town.
Demonstrate you
If
you
you're
need
going
that.
on a date,
Wow.
then wear the Daddy Milkers shirt.
Damn
to the
straight,
date.
they're gonna love it.
All right. Well,
Either way, you know what? That's all the shilling we gotta do. That's the show. And we will see you on Wednesday for more Jesus being a fucking prick.
seriously.
On Wednesday, this guy's crazy.